This is the time, this is the place. The future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming again. 'Cause I feel the light shining so bright in the heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong. Come sun, come rain, 'cause it's blood in we veins. We all are the same. You don't know we red already. Things not set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing that's set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. The movement is forward. We all want the same thing. Together we aspire, so we must achieve. Call the red army, the whole of TNT. So show them we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Fire in the soul, a nation so strong. Through the heart of a people, the victory is won. We fight for tomorrow, we fight for today. Stand strong together, blow the evil away. If we are one, the victory is sure. Divide and rule, we don't want that no more. Clean heart, clean hands, it's love to the core. And if love is the word, how about that we show? You don't know, so tell them you're red already. The thing that's set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing that's set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we red and ready. Thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. No.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Hey! Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the red army. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, yeah. We all. Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all.
Calling on the red army.
Red and ready, here we all.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, we all.
Yeah, we red and ready now.
Calling the red army, calling out all of we friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together, and we'll make it better. PNM, side by side together, we standing together
For our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together. Not just for one, my sister, my brother. Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady.
PNM, we all in.
One blood flowing through we vein.
We all in.
Red army on the road again.
We all in.
Every creed and every race.
We all in.
Together, no time to waste.
We all in.
From Frederick Street to Boko Reef.
We all in.
The Balize is what we need.
We all in.
Tell them this and say it plain.
We all in.
The PNM we need again.
We all in. Taking it to the streets, wherever we meet. We talking to everyone all over the country. The message is loud and clear. We want it to volunteer, spreading the word. Country before party. PNM, sun or rain, together we remain together. We're gonna make things better. PNM, young and old, together
Standing tall.
together.
This is a new chapter. Together we stand and all tribes intertwine. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady.
PNM, we all in.
One blood flowing through we vein.
We all in.
Red
You see Penny, she love the whole of Arima. Dump road, bypass Matarita. You see them can win, so it's best all you lean back. The red team well bad like a gringo. Full support from Dump road and Pinto. We going all in cause we skillful. And anyway, Penny go, you know she team go. I saw the thing go, cause anyway she go, you know the team go. She make the hard work look simple, cause anyway she go, you know the team go. Penny going all in and you don't know. Pull up in the polls and she a vote. But she make the place happy when she touch road. Cause the red now we hard down to be sold. So don't make a mistake when you reach the polls. We saying it big and we stand bold. Cause we care for the young, even the old. So just watch who win and when it done fool. The red team well bad like a gringo. Full support from Dump road and Pinto. We going all in cause we skillful. And anyway, Penny go, you know the team go. I saw the thing go, cause anyway she go, you know the team go. Make the hard work look simple, cause anyway she go, you know the thing go.
voting PNM? PNM, who you voting PNM? PNM, we voting PNM. PNM, who you voting PNM? PNM, call 'em members, call 'em members, call 'em members, call 'em members. A big man in the business, master in economics, supporting all of the youth and all community groups with him progress. you voting PNM? PNM, who you voting PNM? PNM, we voting PNM. PNM, who you voting PNM? PNM, call 'em members, call 'em members, call 'em members, call 'em members. We choice, call 'em members, call 'em. We choice, call 'em members, call 'em. We choice, call 'em members. We choice, call 'em members. If you're red and ready, you know this is your party. Hands up, and up, and up, and up, and up. If you're red and ready, there is no other party. Just stomp, and stomp, and stomp, and stomp, and stomp. You voting PNM? PNM, who you voting PNM? PNM, we voting PNM. PNM, who you voting PNM? PNM, call 'em. We choice, call 'em members, 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 call 'em. We choice, call 'em members.
No alliance formed against the PNM shall prosper. Soldiers, get ready for battle. Watch me. Your body says your sword. Come. Every vote have a value. That's what I've been told. So choose a party that come true. When you reach the poll with education, medication, transportation, and construction, we've been there, done that. Each year is no contract. Give chance, give chance. We proven character with no room for failure. Give chance, give chance. Look at here in a nation, say, jump and play with your body, say. We sharing licks, we going all the way. Jump and play with your body, say. All over town and in the country. Jump and play with your body, say. In all constituency. Jump and play with your body, say. Come in! We gon' beat them back. Your finger is your ammunition. Raise your body, say. Come! 50 years and still going. Strengthening this nation. And constantly showing progress in the region, improving housing, promoting shipping, new highway building, and just on the train line coming. We moving exact and making contact. Give chance, give chance. We on the right track, don't even look back. Give chance, give chance. Look at here in a nation, say, jump and wave with it. We sharing licks, we going all the way. All over town and in the country. Jump and play with your body, say. In all constituency. Jump and play with your body, say. Licks for them. Karani, Bangladesh, St. Joseph, we're not losing you this time. There is no such thing as a marginal seat. Bring in the voices. Jump and play with your body, say. What we singing? Jump and wave with your body, say. We gon' beat them back. Jump and wave with your body, say. Licks for them. Jump and wave with your body, say. Play music. Walk out. Many try but they fall down from greed and corruption. Others try racial separation, forgetting we all are one. Afro-Trin Begonian, Indian Trin Begonian, Chinese Trin Begonian, and White Trin Begonian. We all in one party and run in this country. Give chance, give chance. It's real unity, a true rainbow country. Give chance, give chance. Look out here in a nation, say, jump and wave with your body, say. We sharing licks, we going all
TNT, we go follow Rowley. Kid Rowley, go lead with the victory. PNM warriors, with your bodies in hand. We taking back we country, we taking back we land. Tell them we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Everybody get on board with Franklin Farris and Ashton Ford. Oh, Colin Marlin, Imbert and Donna Cox, Joe Newell, Benny and Hines with the dreadlocks. Oh, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. PNM, PNM. Oh, PNM, PNM. Too much thief and corruption and too much bubble. She feels she could run this country only on alcohol. Flam here, flam she tail, they flying in helicopter while they empty the treasury and we poor people suffer. Tell them we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Warn them, go on the anointed God. We coming to bust the throat. Oh, oh. He go have one big regret. Clause 34, we will forget. No. Tim Gopi sing who playing the fool. He can't even fix his school. Oh, they go Martin North. Oh, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Together we aspire, together we will achieve. This is the legacy that Eric Williams leave. So for the children and their children, we cannot fail. Great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. We coming, we coming, we coming. This is PNM generation next. We go beat them with we X. Oh, oh. In Tobago, they have no chance. We for London, PP go to France. Oh, oh. We coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. PNM.
with passion, who want to save this nation. Keith Christopher Rowley, love TNT head to toe. He ready to restore the economy of Trinbago. East West calling for the doctor, North South calling for the doctor, Tobago calling for the doctor. PNM political leader for Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. For the future, Dr. Rowley. Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. To lead TNT, he ready to work hard. He ready to work hard. He ready to work hard. Dr. Rowley. For the future, Dr. Rowley. Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. To lead a leader who will fight crime. A leader that's strong in mind. A leader on a mission to fix the healthcare system. Yes. Labor, trade and housing, education and justice, culture and tourism. From rock bottom back to square one. East West calling for the doctor, North South calling for the doctor, Tobago calling for the doctor. PNM political leader for Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. For the future, Dr. Rowley. Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. To lead TNT, he ready to work hard. He ready to work hard. He ready to work hard. Dr. Rowley. For the future, Dr. Rowley. Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. To lead TNT. Digo Martin West. Digo Martin West. The geologist. Dr. Rowley is the best. Digo Martin West. Digo Martin West. The geologist. Dr. Rowley is the best.
I will be liming in that part.
PNM, PNM.
Yeah, this one is for the nation, for the children. Yeah, we're getting it done in the fires of hope and prayer. Together as one, there is no load we cannot bear. And I see the light at the end of the rainbow. And I see the bright blue skies. Tomorrow has come and the change has begun. Yes, we're moving, yes, we're moving. Here we come, hey, getting it done. Well, let me tell you something. Forward is how we moving, so never stop believing. We getting it done. A new country we building. This country first we choosing, and every day we proving. We getting it done. They only mama guying. We don't know there was teeth in. They cannot tell we nothing. Red is how we rolling. It's PNM we voting. We doing it right. We doing it right. We getting it done. One good for country, good for party. Team Rowley, we building legacy. So when you're voting, know that you're building a strong foundation for this great nation. This is a nation of many races, different faces in many spaces. So when you're voting, know that you're building a strong foundation for this great nation. Tomorrow has come and the change has begun. Yes, we're moving. Yes, we're moving. Here we come. Hey, getting it done. So let me tell you one thing. It's big man thing we doing. The right thing that we choosing. We getting it done. Society we shaking. We go bust away the welding. It's up and up we going. We getting it done. Respecting who we serving. Lies is what they're spreading. Every time we beat them, it's country that we choosing. Bread is how we rolling. It's PNM we voting. We doing it right. We getting it done. We getting it done in the fires of hope and prayer. Together as one, there is no load we cannot bear. And I see the light at the end of the rainbow. Vote for the PNM. I see the bright blue skies. Tomorrow has come and the change has begun. Yes, we're moving. Yes, we're moving. Here we come. Whoa. We getting it done.
Hey, hey, for the PNM. Hey, hey, for the
We getting it done.
Hey, hey, for the PNM. Hey, hey, for the
We getting it done.
Hey, hey, for the PNM.
election was like war among them party. When I was more than sure they win already. Hudson Phillips said, tell them that's the last of PNM. But when the rest complete, is he who end up without a seat.
Not a damn seat for them.
Mama, that's what Chambers say.
Not a damn seat for them.
Not a single seat on election day.
Not a damn seat for them.
How they lose, they can't understand.
Not a damn seat for them.
They call in Chambers a Obia man. Them ONR jump and whine, making a big show. As they had the crowd behind, everywhere they go. So they thought that crowd was both. They say they're gonna cut me throat. Sparrow start to ball, when he hear not a seat at all.
Not a damn seat for them.
Sparrow, that's ingratitude.
Not a damn seat for them.
You buy the finger that give you food.
Not a damn seat for them.
Look how you hug up Dr. Willie.
Not a damn seat for them.
People afraid you in this country. Hudson Philip fell apart, beaten pole to pole. Dr. Laguise broke his heart in his own stronghold. Well, the party took a blow when their leader went below. The failure of Carl was the end of the ONR.
Not a damn seat for them.
Carl joined the alliance too.
Not a damn seat for them.
And they'll go find something for you to do.
Not a damn seat for them.
I hear he make best a senator.
Not a damn seat for them.
He could he make you party lawyer. Trinidadians got a hint, they heard of the plans. The ONR had blueprint to bring the Cubans. People took it on, of course, say their freedom will be lost. Before this problem, we better put back the PNM.
Not a damn seat for them.
This is what PNM do for we.
Not a damn seat for them.
They give we freedom and liberty.
Not a damn seat for them.
Freedom to walk, freedom to protest.
Not a damn seat for them.
Freedom to talk, freedom of the press.
following is a paid political announcement.
PNM family, tell me, are you ready? To build back a country. Before morning, with Kid Rowley. When are you ready then? Let's do this. Trinbago, are you ready? Let's do this. Rolling with the red army. For the love of your country, place your vote with the PNM family. Trinbago, get ready. Forward in with Kid Rowley. For the love of your country, make sure you vote with the PNM family. Say, come on, my people, let's stand together underneath the red, white, and black banner, yo. Burn out corruption like leaves, it a scatter. With tricks and insult, the people, they're flattered. The partnership done sink already. So vote PNM with Dr. Kid Rowley. Right leader, right time. I've made up my mind to build back the sweet paradise. Trinbago, are you ready? Rolling with the red army. For the love of your country, place your vote with the PNM family. Trinbago, get ready. Forward in with Kid Rowley. For the love of your country, make sure you vote with the PNM family. We often boast and say God is a tree, a blessed nation, the Caribbean envy. All of a sudden, like the place get heavy, things now go right, cause God no like ugly. So come on, my people, let's do this together. Vote PNM to uplift each other. So come on, the children deserve better. Brighter days, a beautiful future. Trinbago, are you ready? Rolling with the red army. For the love of your country, place your vote with the PNM family. Trinbago, get ready. Forward in with Kid Rowley. For the love of your country, make sure you vote with the PNM. Dr. Kid Rowley, a leader phenomenal. The partnership full of pirates and criminal. Send for the doctor, cause the state is critical. Searching to perform on the country's political structure. And he is a doctor we need. 24 years veteran, born to lead. On the 7th of September, my country a plead for Dr. Rowley and the PNM team. Trinbago, are you ready? Rolling with the red army. For the love of your country, place your vote with the PNM family. Trinbago, get ready. Forward in with Kid Rowley. For the love of your country, make sure you vote with the PNM family. Big man thing is love we require to see Trinbago higher and higher. And if you're ready, you know, join us, my people, and come on. Let's do this. Tell them the 7th of September. Make it a day to remember. And put it down on your calendar. Well, old man to the station. This one is a serious mission. Well, all hands on deck. This is a matter of life and death. So tell me, are you ready then? I know I am ready. Tell me, are you ready? Let's do this. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail.
Mopsy start to strike. NAR and UNC lying second and third, and jack like a bumblebee. flying fast like a bird. A horse with a Chinese name can't keep up with the pace. Poor animal pull up lane and was out the race. 2-1,
PNM,
6-1,
UNC,
8-1,
NAR,
9-1.
MOPSI.
And Jack showing 10 for the most, the rest of them 99.
They waited to see who first go past the finishing line. PNM,
With the field,
PNM,
2-part wheel.
PNM,
Come on, Shirley,
PNM,
girl, hurry, hurry.
PNM,
1,000 win,
PNM,
girl, the race go in.
PNM,
Mike and Kelly, they done by already. At 4 furlongs out, punters start to brace as the announcer shout, the start of the race. PNM lead the pack and seem to be clear, while Little and Jack bringing up the rear. UNC in second place, accelerating like zoom. NAR is making haste, looking for racing room. While all this is happening, the whole grandstand ball, it was so disappointing, and Jack jockey fall. 2-1,
PNM,
6-1,
UNC,
8-1,
NAR,
9-1.
MOPSI.
And Jack showing 10 for the most, the rest of them 99.
They waited to see who first go past the finishing line. PNM,
They want to beat,
PNM,
how to repeat.
PNM, PNM, PNM,
Sun or rain,
PNM,
should win again.
PNM, PNM.
What's the rise?
Giddy up, new style come up. NAR, MOPSI, and then Jack. PNM and UNC, all of us riding with a jockey. Long time they riding and they riding fast. PNM first and the rest them last. Man start the panic, start to beat them horse. Riding fast. Riding man. PNM horses boss on the track. UNC trying to make an attack. NAR and the rest of them don't care how they try, they can't beat PNM.
Just before the start, money start to flow. People from all parts, betting big for show. Punters went crazy, they start betting wild, as if money was going out of style. The punters from Caroni went on a spending spree. They start betting fearlessly on MOPSI and UNC. The punters from Lavanti, East-West Corridor and them, man, they take the last penny and put it on PNM. 2-1,
PNM,
6-1,
UNC,
8-1,
NAR,
9-1.
MOPSI.
And Jack showing 10 for the most, the rest of them 99.
They waited to see who first go past the finishing line. PNM,
What a horse,
PNM,
he loved the course.
PNM, PNM, PNM,
Sire and Dam,
PNM,
from the William Farm.
PNM, PNM.
Too far long to go, UNC on the rail. MOPSI like Flo Joe, keeping close to his tail. PNM in command, and leading of course, while the whole of the stand clamoring for their horse. The Caroni punters say, we can't lose this one. Well, we have to win today. Run, UNC, run. Together they pass the post. Punters leave their seat. They couldn't tell who finished first. It end up dead heat. 2-1,
PNM,
6-1,
UNC,
8-1,
NAR,
9-1.
MOPSI.
And Jack showing 10 for the most, the rest of them 99.
They waited to see who first go past the finishing line. PNM,
A good record,
PNM,
always on board.
PNM, PNM,
PNM, for the PNM, for the PNM.
This is about our children's future. We can't give up now. We must believe. We've come a long way together as a nation, standing side by side. Still a long way to go, we gonna get there, standing side by side. I see the faces, the races, the spaces, the places where we all come from. I see the Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, the Syrians, united all as one. We gonna get there, yeah, yeah. Whoa, I say we gonna get there, yeah, yeah. Whoa, I must believe. Together we as a nation, who must believe. I see our kids as the reason. We must believe.
Sit here tonight, that's right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you now to please stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And this will be followed by an opening prayer, which will be invoked by Mr. Stern Barnes.
Can I invite you to close your eyes and bow your head? Father God, we thank you for your grace, for your love, for your mercies. Thank you, God, for bringing us together yet again to see about your business, about the business of the People's National Movement. And as today, as we reach out to the people, dear God, I ask you, God, to go before us, dear God. Father God, represent us, O God. Father God, I pray for our political leader at this time, dear God. Continue to give her wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as she continue to lead us in the path that we are to go, dear God. I pray, oh God, for every member of parliament. I pray for every MP, every minister, every cabinet minister, dear God. I pray that you continue to touch them, continue to work with them in this difficult time, in this difficult season, oh God. Father God, I pray for the membership, oh God. I pray for the grieving membership, those who have fallen apart, dear God. I pray that they would come back, oh God. Oh God, that we would come and stand in unity, in one love, to the People's National Movement we used to be, oh God. I pray, oh God, that you would guide us and lead us. And, oh God, you will bring us to that place that you would want us to be. And in the next 5 years or less, we can all stand together in your name and declare your grace in no other name, but in Jesus' mighty name I pray. And all say amen.
Thank you so very kindly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Stern Barnes. The People's National Movement is on the move, ladies and gentlemen. And we are on the move because within 3 months, we already have to save this country from a disastrous crisis of a government led by Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her band of misfits. Ladies and gentlemen, ours is a very serious task here tonight. And so the PNM presents to you a battery of powerful speakers led by our political leader, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson. And tonight we will take you through what the challenges are and what the PNM proposes. And so, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to recognize in our audience His Worship, the Mayor of Arima, Alderman Baliram Maraj, Chairman of the People's National Movement and Member of Parliament for the constituency of Aruca Lopino, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, Member of Parliament for the constituency of St. Anne's East and Lady Vice Chairman of the People's National Movement, Dr. the Honorable Nian Gadsby Dolly, Member of Parliament for Port of Spain South, the Honorable Keith Scotland SC. Good evening, Mr. Scotland. Good evening, turn and say good evening. Good evening. Say good evening, Mr. Scotland. And your very own Member of Parliament for right here in Malabar, Mausika, the Honorable Dominic Romaine. And as I continue recognizing our very distinguished ladies and gentlemen here in the audience, permit me to recognize the Member of Parliament for the constituency of Diego Martin Central, the Honorable Simon de Nobrega. Party Elections Officer, Mr. Indar Parasram. Party Welfare Officer, your own constituent, Miss Maxine Richards. Miss Irene Hangs, our Operations Officer, who is somewhere making magic happen at this point in time. And ladies and gentlemen, it would be remiss of me if I did not recognize the Grand Dame of the People's National Movement, Mrs. Joan Yule Williams. I have been in this party for over 30 years, and I cannot tell you one occasion that Mrs. Williams has not been present. Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Thank you so much. Always so radiant and beautiful. Permit me, please, to recognize as well the Chairman of the People's National Movement's National Youth League, Mr. Patrick Phillips. We also have in our midst representatives from the Arima Borough Corporation, including our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Jovan Roberts, who is walking along the corridor there, Councillor Kim Garcia, Councillor Dave Mirage, Councillor Joycelyn Worrell, Alderman Derek King, Soca Warriors, or not so Soca Warriors. We don't know, we'll see how that goes. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a beautiful PNM audience. I recognize past councillors, Brennan Patterson, past Alderman Herman Noel, Chairman of the constituency of Darby O'Meara of Malabar Mausika, and all of you wonderful PNM people. Let's say a special good evening to those who are following live online and listening to I-95.5 FM. Let's make some noise for those who are not here, who can't be in this packed hall. Let them know that you are here, you are receiving this information, and with them you will communicate to the country the important messages that we need to share. Because tonight we gather not in retreat, PNM. The PNM is not just watching the state of this nation. We are preparing to lead it forward once more. We are here tonight as a party in transition. Not in turmoil, in transition. We are grounded, we are ready, we are focused, ladies and gentlemen, and leading that charge for us, steady, unshaken and clear-eyed, is a woman of strength, dignity, and deep devotion to our country. Our political leader, the country's opposition leader, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles, a servant of the people, a defender of the people, a daughter of this soil, called for such a time as this. What this country needs right now is Pennelope Althea Beckles and the People's National Movement. Because Trinidad and Tobago, we are hurting. From the grocery shelves to the job lines, from crime to corruption, the people are crying out, and we have no choice but to respond. And so tonight, we commit to our sacred cause that brought us into being, in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen. We are in defense with a new vision and a renewed vow to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And you will hear more about that as we stand in the line for you, Trinidad and Tobago. You will hear from all of our speakers, and we invite you to journey with us. This is going to be a long, hard journey, but it is not insurmountable. We all need to come together and do what we need to do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you to this beautiful electoral district of Malabar South, permit me to welcome, please, your councillor, Councillor Joycelyn Worrell, currently serving her 3rd term on the Arima Borough Corporation as the representative for Malabar South. Please welcome Councillor Joycelyn Worrell.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Pleasure is mine to give the welcome remarks. I am Councillor Joycelyn Worrell, the Councillor for Malabar South. Thank you. Yes. First, without further ado, I must welcome the Honorable Pennelope A, our political leader of the People's National Movement, opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Member of Parliament for Arima. Welcome to Malabar South. Secondly, we have Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gasby Dali, MP for St. Anne's East, Lady Vice Chair. Welcome again to Malabar South. Pleasure is always ours to have you all. Thirdly, we have our own MP, no other but the Honorable, or rather MP, Mr. Dominic Romain. Welcome to your constituency of Malabar Mausika. We have no other than the Honorable Keith Scotland, SC, MP, Member of Parliament for Laventille West. We have further, we go along the line, we have the Honorable Colin Imbert, MP, Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Northeast. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Thank you. We have our Chairman of Malabar Mausika Youth League, Ms. Lashad Molchan. Welcome her also, very vibrant young lady. It's really a pleasure to be here at this auspicious occasion. Malabar South Burgesses, I must welcome you all without doubt, and thank you all so much for always being very active in your community. As was mentioned, when I got into office, was elected rather in 2019, first thing I did was form group chats on every single street. Those chats have become powerhouses. We use it 24/7 to empower our burgesses, be it employment, be it water, probably they need water, electrical problems, if there are robbery in the area, God forbid, among other things. Not only that, as I said, job opportunities, many persons just want someone to speak to. They might need hampers, especially in this time, where so many of our burgesses are not employed because of being retrenched by CPEP. Not really by CPEP, but by the government, that therefore people would have sent home their contractors, and with the contractors, over 10,000 of the employees. We have also forestation, Ministry of Forestry, they also, workers were sent home. So I want to ask and urge each of you to help in any way you can, because many persons are on the breadline. We are praying for a steady resolution, but as Dr. Gasby Dali has indicated, I would have already directed many burgesses to go to Ministry of Social Development for assistance. I would also indicate, since I came into office, I had done training in etiquette, training with respect to children who had just finished SCA. Crime prevention meeting was something we recently did, because as you all know, in Malabar South, crime is increasing drastically. We had a walk against crime about 3 years ago, and we are following up with respect to that. I also had six culinary arts program where I empowered burgesses to cook because I was a chef in hotel school. We had several book drives, hampers, distribution of clothes, etc. And I must indicate what I had done because these are things that empower our burgesses and improve the quality of their life. I could further mention many other things, community gardens throughout the district because I am the chairman of recreational grounds and public spaces. I want to use this opportunity also to thank all my colleagues who have worked tirelessly on the ground with me as a team and our mayor. No other than Baliram Maraj. Thank you all and God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Let's hear it one more time for your councillor because that is performance. So many initiatives she has taken upon herself to represent you, the people of Malabar South. So many programs in the PNM groups we are able to see where she shares all of her work, all of the different programs that she does for every single demographic within her electoral district. Thank you very much, Councillor Worrell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure is mine. I have a particular bias towards young people. I know for a fact that the young people are in fact the future of this party, but they're also the now of this party. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's a creative, and he talked about ensuring that we speak in the language of the young people and ensuring that we pass on the traditions and we pass on the stories and we let them inform how we go forward. And it's an exciting time for the PNM because that is going to become a reality under our leader, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles. And so, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming your very own daughter, the chairman of the Malabar Mausika Youth League. She holds a degree in graphic design. At 26 years old, she's an entrepreneur and the owner of her own business, Royal Necessities Limited. Would you please welcome Miss Lishal Mulchan.
Can you feel the excitement? I don't have mistakes and ten up. Come and gather around the tent. We ready to jump. Rum down in my back pocket. Tie me head with a twinny bandana. Booksy say, we come to mash up the savannah. Oh, tell them we come in.
Good evening to the mighty People's National Movement family. To our political leader, the leader of the opposition, and member of parliament for Arima, the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson, His Worship, Alderman Baliram Maharaj, Mayor of Arima, the Honorable Dominic Romaine, my MP for Malabar Mausika, Party Chairman, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, MP for Aruka Lupino, Lady Vice Chairman, Dr. Nian Gatsby-Dolly, MP for St. Anne's East. The Honorable Keith Scotland, SC, MP for Port of Spain South. Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Central, the Honorable Simon De Nobrega. National Youth League Chairman, Mr. Patrick Phillips, all officers of the movement, parliamentary representatives, councillors and aldermen, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, young people of the PNM, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I stand before you this evening not just as a youth, speaker, or merely to deliver a speech. I am here to make something very clear. This moment we are experiencing, this movement we are engaged centers around truth. It's about boldly standing in defense of the people. As a young person, I want to assure you that we see what is happening. We are neither blind nor silent, and we are most definitely not asleep. Because the truth is, yes, we are hurting, and yes, we are angry. But listen closely. We are not broken, we are not defeated, and we are not going anywhere. We are still standing, we are still fighting, because this generation is most definitely awake. Let me pose a simple question to you. Who's defending the mothers who have lost their jobs and can no longer feed their children? Who's defending the youth who once had a future until their programs were cut? Who's defending the communities where gunshots echo louder than opportunity? The answer, we are. The People's National Movement is. And tonight, I am. So let's begin with the mass firings. People are waking up to the shocking that they've lost their jobs, no warning, no explanation. Mothers, fathers, single parents, and even young people are just let go like that. Now tell me, how does a mother explain to her child, no breakfast this morning because I lost my job? This is the reality on the ground. Not the sanitized version presented at a press conference, but the real life can't pay a light bill version. While families are struggling to survive, youth programs are being cut left, right, and center. What kind of government eliminates opportunities for young people in a country that is drowning in crime? You take away jobs, remove training and mentorship, and then act surprised when crime escalates. You can't starve the youth of opportunities and then question why they're angry. You can't turn your back on communities and pretend to care when tragedy strikes. The youth of Trinidad and Tobago, we are not sleeping. We are not blind, and we are most definitely not foolish. We recognize betrayal when we see it, and we know what true leadership feels like. Under the People's National Movement, yes, we faced challenges, but you know what we also had? Access to training, youth-based development programs, investment in sports, music, culture, education, and entrepreneurship, and most importantly, a voice at the table. And now it feels as though young people have been pushed back into survival mode. But we are not built to break. We are built to rise. So I want to speak directly to the youth right now. Don't give up. Don't check out. And definitely don't sell out. This country needs us. Your voice matters. Your dreams matter. Your pain matters. We don't need to wait for anyone to hand us a future. We will build it. Together, loud, unapologetic, and focused. And I promise you, the PNM is not done. We are rebuilding, we are recharging, and we are regrouping. Because when the Honorable Pennelope Beckles Robinson stands as our leader, she is not just leading a party, she is leading a movement for justice, for opportunity, for the people. So to the mothers fighting to make ends meet, we see you. To the youths searching for a way forward, we hear you. To the workers who gave everything and received nothing in return, we are with you. This moment is difficult, yes, but we were made for challenging movements. We are the generation that will not bow. We are the youth who will not be bullied into silence. We are the sons and daughters of a party built by the people, for the people, and defense of the people. So tonight, I say, let our voices be heard. Let them feel our fire. Let them remember our names. We will not be forgotten, and we will not be silenced. We stand as a testament to the strength and resilience of the People's National Movement. This is our moment to demand the future we deserve. Change is coming, and it starts with us. As members of the PNM, we will shape the future with our determination and creativity. Let us unite in purpose, embrace the diversity that makes our nation strong. Together, we will forge a path where every voice counts, guided by the principles of the PNM. This is a revolution of the heart and mind. We are the architects of our destiny, building a Trinidad and Tobago that honors its people through the vision of the PNM. Let's make our stand now and forever. As part of the PNM, we are the future, and we are ready to make history. So, as I close, in the words of our country's first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, our party's first political leader, the Honorable Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, and I quote, "Now, we are not an ordinary party in the accepted narrow sense of the word. We are rather a rally, a convention for all, a moralization of all forces of the community, cutting across race, religion, class, and color, with the emphasis on united action by all the people in the common cause." As the proud chairman of the Malabar Mausika Youth League and a part of the People's National Movement, National Youth League, I say tonight, long live the People's National Movement, long live the youths of Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
I think y'all could keep giving her a round of applause because this is the future of the PNM and the future of Trinidad and Tobago. I told you to have a bias towards the young people. And would you believe this is LaShalle's first time on a national public platform? And I want us to heed the messages that LaShalle shared with us. She talked about the fact that you cannot starve the youth of opportunities and then question why they're agitating and then call her SOE on top of that. She said that her generation is very capable of recognizing betrayal. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. She said that she doesn't need anyone to hand them a future. The young people, they don't need anybody to hand them a future. She said they will build it on their own. Just do not deprive them of their opportunities. And most importantly, and we stand at attention when we hear this, is that this generation will not bow. Let's hear it one more time for LaShalle. So I hope you have a bias towards young people too. Permit me, please, to recognize our party's public relations officer, Senator Faris Al-Rawi, former Attorney General, former Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando West, very distinguished son of the PNM and of Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Councillor Sheldon Fish Garcia, our very good friend, Arima Central. Anybody from Arima Central here tonight? Not me. Only Fish, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on with our program. It is my pleasure to present to you a very young, dynamic man. He came to us a few years ago, offered himself on the national executive level, put himself forward to this community in other capacities. He has come to you for your vote. He came to you for your vote in 2025, and you elected him to be your Member of Parliament right here in Malabar Mausika. He is a brilliant, hard-working, well-researched, articulate young man. He's a graduate of St. Mary's College. Oh, okay, school, it's all right. We love CIC, don't worry. I see in the Fatima CIC dynamic happening already. He is a financial consultant by profession, and he has held a number of portfolios, including president and vice president of different financial institutions. He has previously served as a judge coordinator for TUCO, which means he's very familiar with the arts, right, Mr. Simpson? Yes, that's right. And he has also served on the Past Students Union of St. Mary's College. Malabar Mausika, I invite you to welcome the microphone to stand in your defense and in defense of all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Dominic Romaine.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies. As what? Honorable Political Leader Pennelope Beckles, His Worship, the Mayor of Arima, Baliram Maharaj, my chairman of the People's National Movement, Marvin Gonzalez, and my fellow parliamentary colleague, other parliamentary colleagues, greetings. To my councillors, all of them who are here and those who are not here but who are listening, ladies and gentlemen, and of course to the most important guests this evening. Those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who cast your ballots for me on the 28th of April, 2025, because without you, I would not be standing here. It is the first time in 24 years that this constituency has been in opposition. The last time we were here was in 2001, I believe, under the late Jared Narain. So this constituency has gotten accustomed to the benefits of being in government. And I can tell you for the last 3 months, I have learned opposition ain't easy. In fact, I was told my predecessor, the late Lisa Morris Julian, used to say I could do many things, but one thing I can't do is to be an opposition MP. And I'm learning every day why she might have thought so. You see, in less than 3 months, we have seen the venom of what I call the, what's the best word to describe them by? Yeah, that's true. That's true. The default government. And why do I call them the default government? They didn't win because the population came out in large numbers, because the population bought into their rhetoric about high crime, high cost of living, the PNM wicked, the PNM evil. No. They came into government by default because our PNM supporters withheld their votes from us. A variety of reasons, and we don't hold it against them, right? But we give you the commitment that over the course of the next 5 years, we intend to work extremely hard to win back your confidence and your support to ensure that this default government does not serve for more than 5 years. They didn't deserve a second 5 years in the first place, but this is where we are today, right? Unfortunately. So, the first political leader of the People's National Movement once said the alternative to the PNM is chaos and confusion. And if anybody wasn't so sure about that, if anybody had any doubts, the last 3 months should have wiped out all such doubts. The last time the UNC was in office, they stayed for 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days. Good news is 3 months down. Bad news, we still have 5 years and 2 weeks. Yeah. And if the last 3 months are anything to go by, it's going to be a doozy, so all you buckle up. But you have a good team in the parliament. Don't mind they say the PNM is a small maxi. They say in 2012 there were 12 of us. So in 2025, we have a small maxi and we're using the conductor seat because we have 13 now. These are the kind of things that they throw at us. Let me tell you. In parliament, they don't like me to, anytime I get up and they hear me mention 2010, 2015. Mr. Speaker, 48-1. Mr. Speaker, 48-6. I can't make a contribution without hearing them jumping up. Barataria San Juan, St. Augustine, Shogunas East, Paddy. Yeah, all of them. They wouldn't give me a ease, but that's okay. It's only been 2 months, so 3 months so far. But time longer than time, right? Today was my office day. My office day is on Thursdays for those who aren't aware. And has become the norm for the last couple of weeks. The majority of people that I see are persons who are looking for employment. A lot of these people were previously employed under CPEP. And now, thanks to this default government, they don't have jobs. They don't know what their future holds. They made many promises, but as the saying goes, elections have consequences, and so too does election promises. And a lot of people bought into their promises. They promised the world, the sun, the moon, the stars. In fact, every morning since the 4th of May, after the cabinet was sworn in, first thing I do when I wake up, I draw the blinds and I look outside to see if there's milk and honey in the yard. So far, none. Disappointment. And I verily believe that for the next 5 years and 2 weeks, It's going to continue to be disappointment. From your lips to God's ears. But you see, the UNC held out themselves for the last 10 years as being the party for the poor and the middle class. And the PNM wicked, and the PNM only care about the 1%. But they were the defenders, everything. Poor people, they're looking after the poor. Is this how you treat the poor? Really? They rode the backs of the poor. They rode the backs of the middle class. They rode the backs of the working class. And as soon as they got into office, they were their first casualties. First casualties. Or, as the member for Malabar referred to them as collateral damage. This is a man who spent many years in the trenches working for the same working class. And look what a little office could do. Change the suit, that's right. For years, they talk about Stuart Young and Stuart Young brother. And the government giving contract to Stuart Young brother company. But what did we hear? The member for Labre, wife on aboard. The member for Point 14, wife on aboard. The member for Oropuch East, wife on aboard. And what the supporters say? Nothing. They beside themselves all over social media trying to defend the indefensible. But there is no defense for that. Embarrassment, that is all they're causing. But you see, it was easy for them to fire 11,000 CPEP workers because they never supported CPEP in the first place. There's a saying, the past is prologue. Let me remind you all of what the UNC's position was on CPEP many years ago when the People's when the People's National Movement conceptualized this program and saw how it could help people. Let me remind you all. This is an article dated, let me get the exact date, because I like to quote my sources. The 17th of November, 2011. This says, ministers change views on dead-end jobs. New jockey and the Tigers back. What are they referring to? Kamla Prasad Bisesa in her 2006-2007 budget reply criticized the People's National Movement for low-level income programs. She said the UNC government of 95 to 2001 created over 85,000 well-paid permanent jobs. By our policies, we inspired job creation in the private sector. We moved the employment figure from almost 19% in 1995 to 10% by 2001. And we did not use URP, CPEP, and MUST to further disempower and humiliate the jobless into a dependency syndrome. Mr. Speaker, it is on the matter, or this matter, that the opposition wishes to express the highest level of condemnation of the Manning administration. The PNM has introduced a backward and archaic labor strategy of shoving the low-skilled into a dependency syndrome and therefore presiding over the intergenerational transfer of poverty and dependency. They should take a bow. Very few governments have destroyed their own supporters in this way. As the present Prime Minister. Government Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal had issued a press release in March 2006. And here's what he had to say. Let's give him a little moment here with the technology. Yes, thank you. Knocking the then PNM government for boosting employment in CPEP and URP programs. He says the PNM government has taken the dependency syndrome to new heights by creating a form of white-collar dude or 10 days syndrome. Today, unlike in the past, even those with secondary or tertiary education are on temporary jobs, which when concluded leaves them to beg for more short-term jobs. Attorney General Anand Ramlogan, in his column in The Guardian in August 2007, entitled A Loveless Thing, criticized the former PNM government on CPEP programs. Which parent dreamed of having his or her child become a CPEP worker? Is that what the original grandfather in the PNM heartland areas expected after almost half a decade of PNM rule? Surely the dream was that their grandchildren would be the ones driving past in their air-conditioned cars on their way to work, waving to the less fortunate in our society who are forced to resort to cutting grass by the roadside to make a living. You see how they characterize CPEP? That's how they look at the CPEP workers. That's why it was easy for them to just dismiss 11,000. There is no future in CPEP. It is a dead-end road. It is not a serious career option. It does not add value to the economy. To perpetuate this dependency syndrome is a crime against humanity and makes the PNM a loveless thing. How's the UNC? That's how they see CPEP workers. There's no future in that. That is why it was easy for Kamala Persad-Bissessar, when my colleague, the former member for San Fernando West, when he was reassigned to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, she was interviewed on Ian Allen's Crime Watch program, and he asked her to comment on the development, and she said, it's a demotion. He has gone from landlord to labas. That when she was in local government, that ministry was the ministry of rats, rodents, and drains. That's how she sees local government. Councillors, you all are practitioners in the ministry of rats, rodents, and drains. Yes. But you know what? They love the votes of the CPEP workers. But they don't love the CPEP workers. So here we are, 2 months later, or thereabouts. And these CPEP workers are still wondering what is going to happen in August. And what a time for you to send these workers home. School books to buy, children on vacation, parents were looking forward to sending their children to summer camps. Some children were very excited, looking forward to that. Instead, what do they have to do now? Stay at home. Stay at home. Meanwhile, where is the Honorable Prime Minister? We see her as often as we see the cabinet press briefing once a week. But the last time she was in office, we were told 5-day weekend. Now it looks like a 6-day weekend, right? But some people stick broke in their ears. I have a podcast program, and for over 2 years, I kept singing this song and telling the people why the UNC was not a good option. Patrick Manning told you all years ago. The Kamala Persad-Bissessar of today, who is offering herself as Prime Minister, is just not ready, my dear friends. Lacks the political skill, lacks the political training, lacks the political acumen, lacks the political experience, and would be a disaster if she were to become, if she were to become Prime Minister. And we saw it the first time, and we will see it again. Only this time around, she's not as vibrant as she was then. So we have the de facto Prime Minister. Yes. Imagine, they came into office and they told us the Prime Minister's residence was in a state it couldn't be occupied. The Prime Minister's office in a state couldn't be occupied. $5 million for them to renovate the Prime Minister's residence and diplomatic center. Yes. Unplug this card and tell it not working. We have no money. Rowley and the PNM left the treasury, not even fumes in the treasury. But last week they had their first post-cabinet briefing. Where? In the same diplomatic center. They found the money for that, but they don't have money to pay CPEP workers. Where did that money come from? Who were the contractors? For 10 years, they're singing a song about procurement, and this administration, last administration, watered down the procurement legislation. Same procurement legislation that they used. But don't worry, we will find out who the contractors were. So they took care of the residents in St. Anne's, and now I saw UDCOT put out a post. Let me show you what's important to them. Not ensuring that the citizens whose backs they rode to get into office, that they are able to put food on their table. Not ensuring that come September, when school reopens, that children are prepared for school. That's not what is important to them. Let me read this for you. Media release, July 21st, 2025. Visit by Works and Infrastructure Minister, the Honorable Jolene John MP, UDCOT Chairman Shankar Bidesi, and Deputy Chairman Peter Kanhai to the Prime Minister's residence in Tobago. Works and Infrastructure Minister and Line Minister for the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Jolene John, yesterday, Sunday, 20th July, visited the Prime Minister's residence in Tobago with UDCOT's Chairman, Shankar Bidesi, Deputy Peter Kanhai, and UDCOT Facilities Manager. But we know why they were in Tobago over the weekend, right? So she said, well, since we're here, we might as well pay a visit. Apparently, they had a big birthday party celebration in Tobago. It was confirmed after the walkthrough at the site that key remedial work must be conducted at the residence and its premises. The walkthrough by the ministerial team commenced shortly before 9 a.m., and the team then assessed the compound, main building, and adjoining structures, which house staff members as well as members of the protective services. The walkthrough concluded around 10 a.m., so they took 1 hour. The team then held discussions to ensure that all works to be done were properly documented and tabled. Discussions took place regarding the way forward and included, here it is, follow-up visits to complete a full-scale assessment of the facility to develop scope of works, establishment of a project schedule and milestones, conduct of extensive repairs, take all incidental steps to ensure that all remedial works are completed. This is the same Prime Minister's residence in Tobago that they told us 2 years ago cost 63 million. 63 million? What remedial works they had to do in Tobago? But of course, we told you all, millions were spent in the election. The UNC outspent the PNM probably 10 to 1. Where that money came from has to be repaid somehow, right? So, you create problems, create expenses. Money has to spend. So we wait to see. But that is what is important. When was the last time Kamala Prasad-Bissessar went to Tobago? So who are they really going and do work on that house for? That's right. Ask a silly question. That is what you could expect. Millions of dollars from a treasury that didn't even have fumes. We approved millions of dollars just a few weeks ago. Mid-year review for CPEP. They told us they needed that money to take CPEP to the end of the financial year, which is September 30th. 60 million of the very best taxpayers' dollars. That's right. They never told us in the debate, speaker after speaker, not one of them got up and told us that they were going to fire all these CPEP employees. Because had they done so, we would have asked, so what is this money for? $60 million? They complain about additional contractors. What, 2, 3? This constituency, we had 9 CPEP contractors, representing about 270 workers. All of these people are now on the breadline. So I have to look forward to the next few weeks of these persons coming to me for assistance. And there's only so much I can do because, as I said, opposition ain't easy. They claimed geographic discrimination, but I heard a member for Maruga Tableland complaining she had 10 CPEP contractors in her constituency. I had 9. Well, the last MP had 9. Last I checked, 10 is more than 9. That's geographic discrimination. I should claim geographic discrimination because she had more than me. And then complaining just before the election, she got a couple more. We didn't get any. We should be complaining. But where is the courtesy? Where is the care that they had for the poor and the destitute? Went out the window. Collateral damage. 3 months down. 5 years and 2 weeks to go. What do they have in store for us? You know, there's a meme going around. Are you all aware that there is a new emoji on WhatsApp? It's the UNC party logo, the rising sun. So they said if somebody sends you a WhatsApp message and asks you what you're doing for the weekend, and you see this send that emoji, that means they have no plans. Yes, I have no plans. They had no plan. They have no plans. This is a government, we are being governed by Fox News. Look at all of their policies so far. These are things that we saw rolled out in the US just a few months ago. So it seems like the godly Prime Minister, when she's not in the chamber, she's in her office, probably looking at television. Let me see what is new. Cabinet meeting, Fox News. Take copious notes. Fire people at will. That's what we're doing. We're cutting costs. So they say. But when you don't listen, elections have consequences. As I kept telling people over the last 2 years, if you make the wrong choice on election day, You can't go back to the EBC and say, I make a mistake, I will back my vote. You have to wait 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days. 3 months gone, you still have 5 years and 14 days to wait. Let me tell you, they plan to take it down to the wire. I saw Mr. Peter Kanahai, you all just heard me mention his name. He's the UNC General Secretary. You know what Mr. Kanahai, that's not all he is, you know. Mr. Kanahai is advisor to the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. He is the chairman of NCC. He's the vice chairman of UDCOT. And they still have other boards to fill. So don't be surprised if you see his name pop up again. So it was never about the well-being of Trinidad and Tobago. They weren't concerned about the poor. It was filling their pockets. And they wasted no time to do so. That's right, and they don't care. They don't care what you have to say. So let's do all of this at the start, and hopefully 5 years and 2 weeks down the road, the population will forget what they did. But you must not forget. Take copious notes, right? Remind yourselves. Remind your friends. Remind your family members. And it's only been 3 months, as I said. And look at the disaster that they have created. They come into Parliament on Monday to debate the extension of the SOE. And the member for, is that Couva South, has the audacity and the temerity to talk about he is not going to tolerate the, what is the word he used by, the hypocrisy of the PNM. Really? Hypocrisy is them being against the state of emergency in December and coming now to institute the same state of emergency. Their regulations are almost a copy and paste of what the PNM had in December. That is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is when you challenge and you criticize an amnesty, a tax amnesty, months ago, and then you come into office and you extend it. No bail reform. Hypocrisy is when you didn't want to support 120 days. No bail. You talk about data, and they want the data. The member for Oropuch East stood up in the parliament and he said, we can't support this extension of the sunset clause because the data reading like a binary card. 1001100, Mr. Speaker. The law not working. We can't support it. And now you have the member for Tunapuna asking for 180 days, no bail. Interestingly, he lives not too far from here, just around the corner. Right? We've had, 3 murders in this constituency over the last 3 months? Not one word from the member for Tunapuna with respect to that. Not one word of condolence to the family members. The member for St. Augustine also lives in this constituency. She lives in Karapo. I had a lady come to me not so long ago, living on the same street with the member. I ain't going to call the name of the street, to complain about the condition of the roads. Some of the worst roads in that area leads to the home of the member for St. Augustine, the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. Minor roads. Faris, that's her responsibility. I took a drive there over the weekend with my cousin so he could show me some of the areas. Terrible. 3 months she has been in that position, not one road paved. But the people come to me. You know what I had to do to get fixed? I had to go to her. The irony. So I had to go, MP, please, you could fix the roads that you're driving on every day. You know, the same roads that you drive on when you leave home in the morning and that you drive on when you come back. The burgesses, they came and asked me to ask you to fix the roads. No plan. None. But that is what we have to do. So, to the constituents of Malabar Mausik, I give you the commitment. I'm a new MP. It's my first go-round. I'm working very hard. Behind the scenes, you may not see me all the time, but soon enough, you're going to be seeing the work. My councillors and I are going to start working with them, trying to get an idea as to what are some of the plans and policies, programs that they intend to implement. And with them, we intend to do what we have to do to get it done. So I give you that commitment that you have my support. I have an open door policy. Tuesdays are my office days, and I look forward to seeing all of you. And together with your support over the course of the next 5 years, let us rebuild this party. But we don't need to rebuild. Recalibrate, and let us get back to government as soon as possible so that once again we could shout with aplomb, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
I want to believe this is your first address to your constituents on a national platform since becoming the Member of Parliament. Well done. Congratulations and thank you, Member. Permit me please to recognize the Member of Parliament for Laventille East Mova, Mr. Christian Birchwood, also a new Member of Parliament, and our long-standing Member of Parliament for Diego Martin North East, the Honorable Colm Imbut. And so tonight we continue in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and it is my pleasure to introduce to the podium an attorney at law par excellence, worthy of the silk that he carries, the Honorable, yes, a Fatima old boy, oh Lord. Any other Fatima people here? Let's just say hi to all of the beautiful Fatima people. Good evening, Simon, Mr. Tate. I know we're not doing the CIC Fatima thing here. Presentation is the school. There we go. Please do not distract me. We are standing in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen. And so it is my pleasure to welcome to the microphone an attorney of great distinction, the Member of Parliament for the constituency of Port of Spain South, a former minister in the Ministry of National Security, and here to stand in our defense, the Honorable Keith Scotland, SC.
Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't cars in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. My friend and them couldn't tell you about me. Good people, it's good people.
Malabar. Everyone, good night. All distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am glad that we could say that we're in a good spirit. But I am not in a good spirit, you know. Never before in the history of this country has a government within the first 2 months sent home 10,000 people. I am now told that if you check the 10,000 URP people and the 4,000 forestry workers, they reach 25,000 people. But they can't break our spirit. So we will be in a good spirit. But we have to stand in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because this is unpardonable. Madam Master of Ceremonies, I want you to corroborate. In law, we call something corroboration. The theme of my speech tonight, and I want to commend the Youth League speaker who spoke about political betrayal. Madam Master of Ceremonies, please tell the public what is the theme of my speech tonight.
In the 12 minutes that you have remaining, the theme of your speech is political betrayal.
Because that is what I consider this. It is a political betrayal of the highest order. And let me start with the first political betrayal, the calling of the state of emergency. Do you recall when under the People's National Movement on the 30th of December 2014, a state of emergency was called? They riled against it. They called it political gimmickry. They called it abuse of process. They called it an attack on the Constitution. Do you know what they did 3 days ago? Last week, the exact order, the exact provisions that the People's National Movement used in December 2024, they have brought it this month in July without one change except moving wrong a couple sections. If they didn't have a clue how to run the country, they could have asked the PNM. But what they didn't tell you, and they were not honest, is to say we took exactly what you did as your regulations and we repeated it. The difference between them and us is as follows. When our state of emergency was called, we gave this country a justification. We spoke about what was the imminent threat. It was a threat of gang reprisals. It was a threat of the use of high-powered weapons. There was a spate of attacks and murders, and we had empirical evidence upon which we call the state of emergency. Have you seen any rocket launcher yet? The prison is a contained space. Have you seen anything coming out of the prison? But they have called a state of emergency in the same terms of the People's National Movement. Is that their crime plan? Is that the only way they can, the only method, the only tool they can use to curb crime? And since then, we do not take any joy in murders. Every murder makes us cringe. But have you seen a decrease in the murder rate since the calling of the state of emergency? Let's be real. Let's have plain talk tonight. And we say that this government is one of political betrayal. I want to go to the next step, and I want to talk to the public about what exactly is a state of emergency as it relates to our Constitution. It's a temporary constitutional and legal mechanism that allows a government to assume extraordinary powers to address severe threats to national security and public order. I want you to draw your mind back to 2010. How many of our young men were arrested without due process and without justification? The country is now paying millions of dollars in compensation to those young men. I put a marker to ensure that that does not happen in this wrongs, but that is the government that we are faced with now, that have copied the state of emergency regulations called by the People's National Movement. Under the state of emergency on the People's National Movement that ended in March, you had carnival, you had a general election campaign, you had no restrictions of your rights of freedom of speech. And this government was proportionate. This opposition was proportionate and even-handed. Do you think the same will occur with this present regime based on their track record? People of Trinidad and Tobago, I call this political betrayal. Now, I want to say that during the campaign, I want to go to the next betrayal. During the 2025 general election campaign, the UNC promised 50,000 jobs. But what they didn't tell you is they were subtracting it. They weren't adding 50,000. So they reached 25,000 now because they have subtracted 10,000 CPEP, 10,000 URP not working, 4,000 forestry. So they reach half. WASA, if you add WASA, they cross over to half. If you add rural development, they're reaching 30,000. And we have not reached 3 months as yet. What it means, people, is that the promise of the 50,000 jobs is not 50,000 jobs gained, you know. It's 50,000 jobs lost. And who are they targeting? The most vulnerable, or those who they feel are attracted to the People's National Movement. That's what they're doing. And they make no bones about it. They don't care. But they will care, you know, because we will make them care by our actions. That is why we must stay united under Pennelope Beckles Robinson to ensure that we held and we hold them accountable for what they have done to these people. On Tuesday this week, I'm not calling the young lady's name, but when she woke up the morning and found that she couldn't feed her children, she ended up in the savannah with a PNM flag, stark naked, you know. How could they justify doing that to a human being? As I saw the people on Tuesdays, when I see them, a lady stayed for an hour. She cried without shedding a tear. She wept without sobbing. And I didn't understand it. She said, I don't want to be here. And I see her passing me every morning when I'm on Nelson Street going to get my corn soup. And all she says is good morning. She takes her son to school and her daughter to convent. And she had to come to my office to ask for help. And that hurt her. It hurt her pride because she said to me, you know, I handle my stories for years. That is what they want to bring us to, people of Malabar, to be begging, to go and ask them for food card, for them to have we information so they can call we, and when they have their own interlopers, to say, well, if you do that, come and vote for we. That's the plan, you know. That's the plan, but they're so unsophisticated that they think that they really think, Faris, that we dance, you know. They really think that we don't understand what they're trying to do to us, but we say to them, no, we will stand in defense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and we will have none of it. The result of the actions of this government is not just a blow to the employment figures, you know. It's a blow to the human dignity of the most vulnerable of us. It's a blow to our democracy because they're targeting those who they feel are not their supporters. For many of our citizens, these terminations have not simply meant the loss of income. It has meant the loss of stability, the loss of security, the loss of self-worth. And I encourage all those single mothers, all those fathers, all those people struggling, hold the fort. The PNM is standing in defense of your dignity. I want to now turn to a very troubling issue. That issue of appointments to the largest and state resources. It's called nepotism. And let me give you the definition of nepotism from the Oxford Dictionary. The Oxford Dictionary defines nepotism as the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs. Does that ring familiar to you, PNM family and Trinidad and Tobago? Perhaps that definition explains the appointments of ministers' wives to state boards, National Lotteries Control Board, Southwest Regional Authority boards. These appointments have sparked legitimate concerns about nepotism. I wonder, ladies and gentlemen, I wonder if an explanation that says, well, my relative is suitably qualified and therefore it's allowed. It is nepotism. And if they say that it was done in the past because they will bring up Manning and say he appointed his wife, if it was wrong then, it double wrong. Two wrongs cannot make a right. So let's have the conversation. It doesn't matter if the persons are qualified. When you put yourself up for public office, it is part of a sacrifice, and you do not aggrandize yourself or your relatives and then say, oh, it's okay, particularly from someone who called the people who have lost their jobs collateral damage. We take offense to that, and we must rail against it. Those who are in positions of power, we must demand that appointments are made on merit and not on familial ties. I will go no further than that, but it's become very important because yesterday, Justice Rahim gave a judgment in the sport company judgment yesterday. And I want you all to read, it's the sport company versus about 12 other people. And according to Justice Rahim's judgment yesterday, the former board members of the sport company of Trinidad and Tobago Limited, they were found in breach of their fiduciary duty. And the importance of that duty, the importance of appointing not just qualified, but members to boards who have no ties, who are not appointed due to nepotism, was brought out by that judgment. The judge said state boards are not rubber stamps, and that they are to ensure that the government meets its obligation. If your relative is appointed to a board, you could tell your relative no. If you are the line minister, you could tell them no when it's time to think about accountability. And if you understand the defense that was mounted by the board members in that case, they said, well, we didn't want to seem to be going against the government and the minister. Justice Rahim said, your duty and your first duty is to your board as directors under the Companies Act of Trinidad and Tobago. That is why those nepotistic appointments must be met with opposition from us as right-thinking people in Trinidad and Tobago. And I wonder, who is winning now? Not the CPEP workers.
He's not in trouble, ladies and gentlemen, but I invite you now to please stand and welcome the political leader of the People's National Movement, the opposition leader of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Member of Parliament for the great constituency of Arima, our lady leader, Pennelope of the people, the Honorable Pennelope Althea Beckles Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our leader.
Stems. Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop living in the past. Where can I find that energy, the raw magic that comes down from the grassroots? Yes, I'm from a place where soca, the resounding power. You could feel anytime, any hour, sunshine or shower. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it reads like a story about. I come from when drum used to carry it. We used to carry it when the drum used to carry it. We used to carry it when the drum used to carry it. We used to carry it when the drum used to carry it. We used to carry it when Arima had it, Maturita had it, Santa Rosa had it, Young Yaruka had it, in Mova had it, in Sawa had it, Soparia had it, look all over. Downtown Fed was the vibes when West people live from Lincoln, John and Beaton to head to the playground and who they link inside.
Political leader, welcome, welcome. Let's give her a round of a serious welcome, my Malabar. So, we are dealing with nepotism. What message are these appointments sending to young professionals in Trinidad and Tobago? The ones who have worked tirelessly to acquire their skills and knowledge. The ones who are waiting for a fair opportunity to prove themselves. What does it say to the public who's looking for fair-handedness, for equity, and for an equal distribution of opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago? Can we get that under this administration, people? No. We can't. Who is winning now? The relatives of ministers? Are the CPEP workers winning? The URP workers winning? The forestry workers winning? WASA workers winning? WASA CEO winning? TSTT CEO winning? Rural development people winning? The people who worked at AGC within? I want to say this to you. The leader has come in here tonight, and we will be winning under her leadership. Because the universe has a way of working out itself. So you beat your chest today, you fire people in Trinidad today, you go to Tobago and celebrate a lavish lablash in Tobago the next day. The universe has a way of dealing with these issues. And I assure you, as Ken Valley said, they could run, but they can't hide. And I want to thank you, Malabar. When I come here, it's always now a bittersweet because I must remember my very, very close friend in Parliament. I miss her every single day. Dominic, we good, but every single day. And I want to say to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, hold the faith with the People's National Movement. We have shown what good governance is about. We have shown integrity in public life. We had a former prime minister who demitted office and didn't hold on to it. All of a sudden he in problems. And nobody could see his name on any list. But he in problems. It happened because the Antiguan government confirmed it. So something happened. What I want to say to you is, hold the faith with the People's National Movement. Your leader, she's working. Your team is working. And the longest rope have an end. Great is the PNM.
Before my leg could I tell you about me? Good people is good people. We only on love. Well, every man make their choices. I say we make sacrifices. We block out the noises.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we know for sure that MP Keith Scotland SC was a very obedient student in school. Thank you very much for delivering that presentation on political betrayal with precision, with clarity, and within your time limit. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a serious question. Who really is winning? This is why the PNM is forced. We are forced to come out this early and stand in defense of the people. 3 months into a 60-month term. God save us, God be with us. But the PNM, led by Pennelope Beckles, is absolutely up to the task. Good evening, Madam Leader, and welcome to your neighboring constituency of Malabar, Mausika. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we move on with our program here tonight as we stand and tell you why and how and what we are meant to do. The next speaker is no stranger to any one of us here in this room, or those of you on the listening audience, or anyone in Trinidad and Tobago for that matter. He has been serving as the Member of Parliament for what was Diego Martin North initially, which is now Diego Martin North East, since 1995. He has served in a variety of cabinet portfolios, including Minister of Works and Transport, Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture for a short while, and he has the distinction of being the longest-serving Minister of Finance in this country's history, and we are grateful to him for taking us through an unprecedented pandemic and ensuring that no jobs were lost during a pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not in a pandemic and we are 20,000 jobs short already. And so this is the man who tells them if they name man, come outside, and he's not prepared to deal with anything that is vexatious and vacuous. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Honorable Calm Peter Imbert.
Never let your problems get you down. Stay focused and hold your ground. Because what will kill you should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me.
Good evening, especially to our political leader and leader of the opposition and member of parliament for Arima, the Honorable Pennelope A. Beckles. We understand her middle name is Eleanor. It's all right. It's a private joke. I call her Eleanor today. I should also welcome my Member of Parliament for this constituency. By the way, I spent a little time driving around Malabar tonight. It wasn't easy to find this place. But let's give a hearty round of applause for your MP, Dominic Romaine. And my other colleagues, Keith Scotland, Marvin Gonzalez, Mr. Birchwood, those are the MPs I'm seeing in the audience. And enough, pardon? I see you're not in your usual outfit tonight, Nayan. That's why I didn't recognize you. We also have the Mayor of Arima and so many others. We have Senator Alwari and so on. It's a great pleasure to be here. Now, I heard the feature speaker, the Master of Ceremonies, when I was coming up. Because, when you give somebody a microphone. Yes, I know. Say that she has been in PNM for 30 years, and for that entire 30 years, she saw Joan Williams at every function. Well, I am heading to 40. In 2 years, I'll have been in PNM for 40 years. And my constituency was called Diego Martin East, not North. So you need a little more time in PNM. But more seriously, folks, I am here tonight to talk about a number of different things. What I want to point out to you is I saw a video recently, a lady from Port of Spain, and it was interesting what she was saying. We gave you the country to run. Run it now. Like you're not able. And that is so true. These people are not able. Everything seems to be by VAPs. Some of the things they come up with, where they come up with these things, they didn't speak about it on the platform. Like raising the drinking age from 18 to 21. That will affect over 50,000 people. And somebody made a point to me today. I was thinking about different things, like you're playing mass in a carnival band, and you go up by the car to get a drink, and they say, let me see your ID. This time only I was a bikini bottom, that's all they have on. But they want your ID. Pull it out from somewhere, show them your ID. But somebody gave me an idea this evening. You're going to mass, I'm a Catholic. You go to mass. You go up, you receive the host, the Eucharist, and then some of us, we would take, a sip from the chalice, the body and blood of Jesus Christ. So, a 19-year-old gone up, the priest give him the host, body of Christ, and then gone by the chalice. The lay minister say, let me see your ID. This is the kind of rubbish these people are bringing to this country. Who came up with these ideas? No joke. As for that marijuana law, raising the age to 25, that is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We MPs know. Who are the guys who take a little smoke every afternoon or every morning just to relax? It's 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. So the police will come up and see a set of fellas smoking. You, how old are you? Let me see your ID. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I just don't know where they come up with these ideas. And if you're jogging around the savannah or you're jogging around Malabar, phase 4, who running with the ID in the pocket? Who doing that? You just have to wonder what is going on. And I saw something today from the Minister of, I think they call him Homeland Security. When we went to Parliament on numerous occasions to seek approval from the Parliament for no bail for serious crimes, gun crimes and things like that. Murder, etc. You no bail for 90 days, 120 days, and so on. They said, no way, because it required a special majority. So we needed the opposition UNC votes. They say, nah, that's against constitutional rights. That is oppressive. No country should have anything like that, depriving people of their liberty. I had to read the papers yesterday or something. I see Mr. Alexander say he pushing for that. No bail for the first 120 days for gun crimes. Who? 180? Who comes up with these ideas? That was not in their manifesto. It was not there. Look at what they did with the Revenue Authority. I read their manifesto. They said the only thing they said about the Revenue Authority was that they would make the Public Service Association the representative union, the bargaining agent for the TTRA. I said, all right. I didn't say anything wrong with that. If that's what they do, I wouldn't oppose that. If they brought legislation to make the PSA the trade union for the workers in the Revenue Authority, no problem. That's fine. That's what they put in their manifesto, They come in, they scrap it. And the whole point of that Revenue Authority was to balance the budget. The estimate of the leakage of tax in this country from tax evasion. And I won't say that I know who is avoiding tax, but I know that they know, the ones that don't pay tax. And they have done that for their friends and their financiers. That's why they scrap the TTRA, because the tax leakage in this country is between $5 and $10 billion a year. And it is their friends and financiers that don't pay tax. That's what it is. That's why they scrap it. So I want to see how they're going to run this country now. Where's the money coming from? Because we are a petroleum-based economy. We get most of our revenue to, used to use it to pay CPEP workers' wages, and forestry workers' wages, and old age pension, or senior citizens grant, or senior citizens pension, as it is called now, and disability grant, and public assistance grant, and the food card, conditional cash transfer, and subsidize WASA to the tune of $2 billion a year, and subsidize TNTech to the tune of $700 million a year, so that your water rates and your electricity rates are affordable. And even with that subsidy to TNTech, we have a next subsidy inside there. If your bill is below $300, is that it correct, Marvin? You get a rebate on that. That's what the tax revenue is used for. It is to pay public servant salaries. It is to subsidize transportation, PTSC, the ferry to Tobago, the air bridge to Tobago. That is what tax revenue is used for. And we've been struggling for years because our gas production has been going down. I looked at it today. I was a little surprised. In a 5-year period, our gas production dropped from 3.5 billion cubic feet of gas a day to 2.5 billion cubic feet of gas per day. It dropped by a third. I look at oil production too. Oil production is at its lowest level now since the 1960s. And with that, that is a reality that they are facing. They can't wave a magic wand and gas start to flow somewhere off the south coast of Trinidad, and another magic wand and oil start to gush somewhere from the ground in South Trinidad. No, these things are very, very difficult. It is not easy, and they're not able. So that when you have a reduction in gas production at that level, a reduction in oil production, a reduction in petrochemical production, where is the money supposed to come from? To pay for free university education, to pay for free secondary education. Where is the money supposed to come from? Because in Trinidad and Tobago, there are a lot of things that are free, contrary to other countries. Healthcare is free. Education is free. There are many countries where you have to pay through your nose. In America, if you walk into a hospital, they say, let me see your insurance. And if you don't have, that is it for you. You're dying right there, outside. We have a lot of benefits in this country, and they are paid for by the taxpayers of this country. And unless we balance that budget, crap will smoke we pipe. But they decide, that's all right. Them ain't worrying with that. They scrap property tax too. So I now begin to understand the stories I hear. I hear that workers in the Eastern Regional Health Authority have not been getting their salaries. Just the other day, parliamentary staff was not getting their salaries. We get it late. And all kind of excuses. But it tells me there is a money crunch because they don't know what they are doing. We in PNM, we make government look too easy. Every time we go in government, we make it look easy. So they feel anybody could do it. But it is not that. It requires a lot of hard work and expertise. But let me talk about this CPEP thing. That wasn't in the manifesto. They never said they would send home 11,000 CPEP workers. They never said they would send home over 4,000 forestry workers. Or, I don't know how many thousand URP workers we have, but I'm sure they're sending them all home too. They gone already? Oh boy. I was looking at the employment figures tonight. When PNM left office, the number of persons unemployed was about 30,000, 31,000, somewhere around there. In 3 months, they have sent the number of unemployed people from 30,000 to 50,000. They take our unemployment rate from 4% to 7% in 3 months. That is governance UNC style. And we have them in court, and we're going to fight them, and we're going to fight them, and we're going to fight them. We're not going to give up. We're going to fight for the workers. We're going to fight for what is right, and what is just, and what is proper. And we feel we're going to win too. We will see, but we're going to fight them to the bitter end. But when we went to court to take action against them for that unjust and oppressive termination of 330 approximately CPEP contractors and 11,000 workers, they came with a defense. They say the contracts were not authorized. They say the extensions of contracts done by the PNM government were not authorized. It's illegal. Well, let me tell you what the facts are. We went to Parliament in June of this year to do something called a supplementation of appropriation based on another thing called a mid-year review. Now, every year, the government, it doesn't matter which government it is, whether it's PNM, whether it's UNC, every 6 months, the Minister of Finance would take a look at the performance of the budget. Because at the beginning, you estimate your tax revenue and you estimate your expenditure. So they're estimates. But things don't always go according to plan. So around 6 months into the financial year, you do a review. It's called a mid-year review. And based on that, you might want to move money around in between one ministry and another. One ministry might have extra, more than it needs, and another one might need money, so you move it around. That's called a variation. Or all the ministries or a whole set of ministries might need extra money. That's called supplementation. And what is done after that is the Minister of Finance, having done his review, will then take a note to Cabinet, and he will ask Cabinet to agree to increase the expenditure in a number of ministries and departments. So they just came in. The mid-year review was programmed for around May-June. They decided to do it in June. And they added $3 billion in expenditure for the financial year. But that's another story, because they don't have the money to pay for that. So that is just smoke and mirrors. That's just fantasy. But in that $3 billion, put $60 million extra for CPEP in the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government. Now, the way the process goes, the minister bring a note to cabinet. He will seek cabinet agreement to increase expenditure in various ministries, education, health, national security, whatever it is. And that is then sent to the parliament to a committee called the Standing Finance Committee. All members of parliament are members of that committee, and it's live on TV, Standing Finance Committee. And in that committee, they go through every single increase in every single ministry, and ministers are asked to explain. And in this year, June, the UNC government came to Parliament and asked for $60 million additional for CPEP. Guess what it was for? It was to pay the CPEP contractors, because the contracts were varied and extended before the general election, before April 28th. And they came in June to approve expenditure on those contracts. And they can't do that until cabinet first approves it. So there's cabinet approval for the extra $60 million, and there's cabinet approval for the expenditure on all these CPEP contracts. That came to Parliament, we debated it, we asked questions, they say, give answers, the gallery themselves, and they got carried away. And two ministers, in particular the Minister of Local Government, said, all I get is 100 million, and out of that, 60 million is to pay for all those contracts that the PNM awarded just before the general election, CPEP contracts. So it approved by cabinet, approved by parliament, assented to by the president, and that is the end of that. So I want to know where they're going with this. Well, Mr. Scotland, you will deal with that, right? And these are facts. You could go and read the Hansard. You could go and watch the television and look at the debate on the supplementation of appropriation. Look at the debate and the discussion in the Standing Finance Committee. Download the documents, it's on the Parliament website. Everything is there. They came and asked for an extra 60 million to pay for all those PNM contracts. That was in June. And when they finish, get the approval, they terminate all the contracts. And now saying the contracts had no approval. Jokers. Let's see where they're going with that. So that's why I say we will fight them, and we will fight them, and we will fight them. And they want to terrorize Faris. They want to torment Faris. Because in addition to all of that, when the PNM came in 2015, a note was taken to cabinet, actually taken by me. And in that note, we set the stage for CPEP going forward, 2017. And in that note, which cabinet approved, it said that the CPEP company was authorized to award new contracts as required. That was never rescinded. That note was never varied. Even the same UNC has not rescinded that, and they already approved the expenditure, and they already approved the expenditure on all of these PNM CPEP contracts. So they could jump high, jump low. Those are the facts. And that's why we say we will fight them, and we will fight them, and we will fight them. But moving on, I have never seen, I have been in opposition now 3 times, 3.5, because they had a little piece there between 2000 and 2001 when the UNC had won the 2000 election, and we thought we were going through another 5 years, but their government collapsed in 1 year when 3 UNC members, Ramesh Maharaj, Ralph Maharaj, and Trevor Sudama, couldn't take the corruption anymore, and they walk out. And the UNC government, the Pandey government, collapsed. And that's when we had an election in 2001, and that ended up in the famous 1818 situation, where we couldn't have a parliament, we couldn't appoint a speaker, so we had to go back to the polls around October of 2002. So we had a little piece of opposition there. But between 1995, 2000, 2001, and between 2010 and 2015, I saw the nature of the beast that is UNC. But you see this one? I don't understand this one. They don't care what they say. They don't care what they do. I don't even know who is in charge. No, I feel it's somebody else. I figure he's just a spokesperson. Somebody else is in charge. Because these crazy things that they do every single day, what it is going on with these people? How you could go to the polls and promise the moon, the sun, and the stars, and milk and honey, apparently, according to Dominic. I don't remember the milk and honey. I remember the moon, the sun, and the stars. How you could go and promise everything? You will give public servants 10%. I hearing so many stories about that fake promise. We had offered public servants 4% and 5%. And we had said if they come, because we start to negotiate the 4 and the 5, and we were going to 6. 4 and 6 is 10. I understand these long-brain people are telling public servants that when we tell you 10, we meant 4 and 6. I'm not joking. I've seen that on a private PSA chat. Somebody sent it for me. They're cussing like blue. That UNC say they will just add 1 to the PNM 5 and the 4 and make it 10. I'm not joking, you know. I see that. And then we see these stories about how the next one, Jolene John say, we can't pay. So I thought they had all the answers. How they could offer public servants 10%. That's $10 billion. That's what that is. $10 billion. Where they getting an extra $10 billion from? It was a fraud. It was a fraud. You know, they did a similar thing in Jamaica. They increased public servant salaries by a large amount. And then they retrenched about half of them. That's what they did in Jamaica. They increased the salary and then they sent home half of them. All right, you balance the wage bill one time. So who knows what these people are up to? We don't know. Every day is something. You look at the state of emergency. What stupidness. As one of my former speakers said, they said when we had a state of emergency in December 24, as a result of information about gang violence and acceleration of gang murders all over the country, they say that just gimmicks. You don't have a plan. That is not a crime plan. That is not a solution. Yes, a state of emergency without a curfew is not a state of emergency. What's going on now? What really going on? They do exactly the same thing. They use exactly the same explanation the PNM use. And let me tell you what is dangerous about all of this. The PNM did not have a special majority, so that we could not continue the state of emergency indefinitely. But let me tell you something. The way our constitution is written, in order to keep extending the state of emergency 3 months at a time, they could do it 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 15 months, 18 months. All you need is 26 votes, and they have 28. So we could be living in a permanent state of emergency in this country. Permanent. And I suspect that is their crime plan. And don't talk about these boards. Don't talk about these boards. It's just ridiculous. Speakers have spoken about it, you know. Every standard, every value, every moral, every integrity, they just throw it in the dustbin. They don't care. And let me tell you something else they're doing. They're taking credit for the hard work of the People's National Movement. Roads that the PNM paved, they say they pave it. Water projects that Mr. Gonzalez was instrumental in doing, they say they do it. I saw a report in the newspaper about a week ago that in 2024, not 25, 2024, the Heritage and Stabilization Fund increased in value by $1 billion US. 7 billion Trinidad and Tobago dollars. In 2024, under PNM, you know, the office of the Prime Minister under Kamala put out a release talking about that, as if it's they do it. No joke, you know. And then we had also been working on a lot of issues in finance. There's something called Global Forum, where some people in Europe decided that until you do what they want, they will blacklist your country and they will stop foreign banks from dealing with banks here in Trinidad and Tobago. It took years of work to deal with that. We had to keep going to Parliament over and over. Every time we go, they block it. They want to send it to committee. They don't want to vote for it. They're making one set of noise. Yeah, they blocked for 3 years. They're opposing everything. But eventually, we got through. I myself, I went to France in November, signed a treaty. I signed all the treaties required to make Trinidad and Tobago compliant. We invited a group of reviewers from the Global Forum to Trinidad. They came here. They went to the Inland Revenue. They went to finance. They went to every institution in Trinidad. They finished their work in December. And they submitted their report to the Global Forum in April, before the general election. And just a few days ago, the Global Forum published its findings that Trinidad and Tobago is now largely compliant with the Global Forum. You know they want to claim that too. They want to claim that too. When you read what the Global Forum say, it is based on a review done up to December 2024. And they check again on April 11, 2025. April 11th, that is 2 weeks before the general election. They check just to make sure, and everything is good, and now they deem Trinidad and Tobago largely compliant. And it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of a couple months and a few procedures, and we will no longer be blacklisted. But Tanku want to claim credit for that too. You see how bold-faced these people are? When I tell you they're bold-faced, they're not easy. Because they have no ideas, they have no capacity, they have no capability, and they're just ruthless, they're just vicious, they're just wicked, they're just evil, and they don't care about poor people. Look, I wonder all the people who voted for them, what they think now. They're crying, as Mr. Scotland said. Lady come in his office crying, they're weeping, they don't know what to do. What beats me is the third time. They do it with Pandey, they do it with Kamala. Twice. Come on. We have a responsibility to educate our people, to make them understand they must not be fooled by gimmicks. They must not be fooled by sweet talk. They must understand what you have. They must understand you only miss the well when it runs dry. They must understand that without the PNM, people will eat grass in this country. And I say to you in Malabar tonight, yes, opposition is nice, Dominic. It's not nice. As I said, I've been in opposition 4 times. It's not nice. I joined PNM in 1987. They didn't have 12 PNM MPs then, you know. They had 3. 3. It was 33 to 3. And we came back from there. So if we can come back from 33-3, and 28-12, we will most certainly come back from 28-13. We will do it. That is our record. And you know why? Because great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we always prevail.
Should make you stronger. So my problem
if it's one thing, the Honorable Colm Imbert always comes with his facts, he always comes with his figures, he always delivers a highly intellectual discourse. And as he was wrapping up there, he talked about the party's responsibility to educate its people, and this is exactly what he is doing as he stands in defense of each and every one of us against this ruthless government, ladies and gentlemen. Every great party, every enduring legacy must sometimes retreat to its roots to rise again, stronger, smarter, and more connected to the people that we serve. That is the power of transformation, and that is the promise of the PNM's next chapter. At the helm of this renewal is a woman of unmatched grace, grit, and grounding. Hers is a leadership, not just a change in face, it is a change in force. Under her guidance, we are reigniting the fire of purpose, reconnecting with the grassroots and with all of our supporters, and rebuilding this great movement that has always been so much more than a party. She is leading our mission to serve, to uplift, and to lead. She is an attorney by profession. She has served our party and our country in numerous capacities. First, as the councillor for the electoral district of Arima Northeast, opposition senator, member of parliament, government minister, opposition senator, ambassador to the United Nations, president of the UN Women, and now member of parliament for Arima and PNM's first female political leader. Malabar Mausika, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome to the microphone the lady who will lead us right back to government, the lady who we cannot look at and take for granted,
Yes, I can
a
hear
woman of
them saying,
strength,
"Boys, stop
a woman
living in
of
the past."
honor, and
Where
the
can I
woman
find
from
that
Arima,
energy, the
the
raw
Honorable
magic that
Pennelope
comes down from the
Althea
grassroots?
Beckles Robinson.
The resounding power you could feel anytime, any hour, sunshine or shower. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it read like a storybook. I come from when ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when Arima had it, Maturita had it.
Thank you, everyone. Especially since Mr. Imbert gave me a new name, Eleanor. Colm, where you get a name from? Eleanor. Good night, everyone, again. And it's my absolute pleasure and privilege to be here in Malabar, Mausika, formerly Dabdi Omera. Let me acknowledge His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Baliram Maraj, Deputy Mayor Jovan Roberts. I see all the councillors, Alderman King, I know you're here. Former Member of Parliament for Arima, Mr. Anthony Garcia is here as well. Nice to see you. Yes, I find all your clapping kind of dying, you know. I mean, you know, give a little energy, you know. Yeah. And our chairman, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, marvelous Marvin. Marvin, you walk with your posse. Our Lady Vice Chairman and the Honorable Member of Parliament for St. Anne's East. Especially here in Malabar Mausika, because I know I walked with him this evening, and you know everybody was only making sure to tell me, yeah, that is my MP, that is my MP, all right? Yes. Yeah, the Honorable Dominic Romain. And since Colm reminded us that it's no longer Diego Martin Northeast, East. Diego Martin East is now Diego Martin Northeast. Okay, and I'm not going to repeat what he told us about what he's going to wear Carnival, but you know, I hope they don't do any such caricature, right? Thank you very much, Colm, for being here. Always with us, former Minister Joan Yule Williams, always make sure she's with us. And of course, coming all the way from Laventille East Mover, Mr. Christian Birchwood. Yes. And all, I know MP Scotland was here a while ago, and let me of course acknowledge all the officers of the movement, councillors. You know, it's really a pleasure to be here. So I started my evening together with most of my colleagues, you know, walking the Malabar district to get a little idea, you know, of some of the concerns. And we walked for a little more than an hour, got some blessings from the rain, and I want to thank all the residents who came out, you know, gave us good wishes and shared with us some of your concerns, mainly about the direction of the country at this point in time. I want to share with you that today is just about a few days less than a month that I became the political leader of the People's National Movement, joining the very distinguished persons of Eric Williams, George Chambers, Patrick Manning, and Dr. Keith Rowley. And as Laurel said, the first female to lead the People's National Movement. I am proud of the team that I lead, and I want to endorse some of the comments made by Dominic, specifically in reference to the 28th of April and the concerns that many of you may have that we are now in opposition. But to remind you that the People's National Movement is a very resilient party. Sometimes we are not always happy to accept that we have made mistakes. Some people prefer that that is not something that you should say. When you're moving forward and you're reflecting on the past and you want a future that people are comfortable with, we have to do some reflection. And as we walked today, some people told us about that, you know. So many people are looking forward to us getting back into government. But in order to do that, we have completed our internal elections. And having done that, we are now preparing ourselves to return to government. But in order to do that, there are a number of things that we have to do. And I will just say to you that I have, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, met with those who participated in the internal elections who were not successful, met with the candidates who participated in the general elections who were not successful. As a leader, I have been traveling through the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, both before becoming the political leader. That is during the period I was the leader of the opposition. I've gone to Point Fortin, Labre, Moruga, Comuto, Sandy Grande, Central, Tobago, listening to the people. And oftentimes we have been accused of not listening. Oftentimes we have been accused of not sufficiently taking time to visit constituencies, hear some of the concerns, mash breaks, as we'd say at time, make some changes. But those of us who have been in the PNM for years, and Colm says he's approaching 40, I am approaching 30 years as a member of the People's National Movement. And for many of you who are here, I'm sure if we took time to listen to you, we would get some very important information as to where we went wrong, what we could do different, and how we could prepare ourselves for governance in a way in which you would be comfortable that we are indeed ready for your trust. We are indeed ready, not just to listen to you, but to do some things and implement some policies that would satisfy you that we deserve your trust and that we are ready again to run Trinidad and Tobago. It is very important for us to talk a little bit more about some of the successes of the People's National Movement. And I was reminded as I walked in Malabar today that the housing stock that exists in Malabar phase 1, 2, 3, 4, phase 1, 4, and 2, all built by the People's National Movement. And a few people asked me about some of the houses that are not yet completed and what will happen to those houses. But of course, for all of us, as I said, it is lessons learned. Because it is not only houses that are incomplete here that have to be distributed. If you go to Aruca, if you go to many parts of Central, if you go to San Fernando, you would see that the People's National Movement, starting from Eric Williams, has always seen housing as one of the most important interventions of the People's National Movement. And what a success story it has been. So when they come now and tell you they're going to build, how much houses a week? I mean, the question that you will ask yourself, what kind of house they could be building? Because housing and houses and construction of houses is not a joke. It is a serious matter. And there are many of you who are here today who would have approached, whether it's Dominique, whether it's Colm, whether it's Nyan, whether it's Marvin, whether it's Scotland, whether it is Faris when he was an MP, asking for a house and saying that you are ready to pay for that house. I'm a former Minister of Housing, and when I left housing to go to the Ministry of Planning, there was almost 200,000 people waiting for a house. And that is because the People's National Movement over the years, based on the policy of subsidizing the land and the houses and making it affordable for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, it means that the average citizen knows the importance of owning a house. And those of you who live in the East, there is Malabar, there is La Joqueta, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The largest housing development in the Caribbean. And if you go to Maloney, if you go to Aruca, if you go to Carina Gardens, you would see the vision of the People's National Movement. And in many of those housing areas, you don't only see houses, you also see schools. If you go to La Joqueta, you would see a modern library, you would see play parks, and you would see that the People's National Movement had a vision for housing over the years. And when we return to office, we will continue that vision. So, as we gather here tonight, many of you who have friends that visit you are fascinated when they see the housing stock that is constructed by the People's National Movement. And not only the housing stock, but the multiplicity of schools. There are two former ministers of education here, the Honorable Anthony Garcia and the Honorable Nyan Gasby-Dolly. And I want to place on record my appreciation to both of them for the work that they have done in the education sector. And to the people of Arima, if you go to Arima Central, or if you go to Holy Cross College, you would see the kind of vision that the People's National Movement had in ensuring that we increase the housing stock for the people of Arima and environs. So I want to say to you that, and it's not only just in Arima, if you remember the vision of Eric Williams when he started the Senior Comprehensive, and we started the policy to ensure that every single child is able to attend a junior or secondary school. And as you move from common entrance, that they ensure that there was a place for you in secondary schools. Many of us forget that it's not only the traditional schools, but also the John Donaldson Technical Institute, all started with the vision of the People's National Movement. Many of you forget that when the UNC got into office, what was one of the first things they did? Closed down all the youth camps. Now, some of us don't understand the significance of those youth camps, because everybody can be a lawyer and an engineer and a doctor. So when you want a good plumber and a good electrician, that was part of the vision of the People's National Movement. But here it is. They came into office and they closed down every single one. You all remember the El Dorado youth camp, the youth camp in Tobago, the one down south, every single one they closed down. We returned to office in 2015, and the decision was taken to restore all of those youth camps. And why? Because we understood the importance of opportunities for young people. So the MILAT and all the different programs, and as members of parliament, when the young people come to you, the multiplicity of programs that were developed under the Ministry of Youth was second to none. And I want to record our appreciation and acknowledgement to the Honorable Foster Cummins. Because from time to time, you know, you would hear them say that they have nothing for the young people. And as a member of parliament, like many others, they would come to the office. And it matters not if you want to do barbering, you want to be a chef, you know, you want to be a linesman, you want to drive truck. There is absolutely no program that wasn't developed by YTEP, by MIC. It was all there. Our responsibility was to take some time to explain to them, because very often, you know, if you go and talk to them and they say, oh, you know, Ms. Beckles, you have nothing, and you tell them, come to the office, you have to take your time. And they themselves become confused when you begin to share with them the different programs that was developed under the People's National Movement. We need to wait patiently to see if they are going to continue those programs. Because many of my constituents are already telling me, YTEP and many of the programs either suspended or they're not hearing anything about it. The OJT program, the on-the-job training program, again developed by the People's National Movement, where the opportunities were created for so many young people to go and get that training on the job that then allowed you to go out into the world of work. I have been sending my constituents there, and they are waiting, because they are waiting to see what this government is going to do. Like many other members of parliament, some of my constituents, they bought into the story lock, stock, and barrel. When UNC wins, everybody wins. Lock, stock, and barrel. Yellow is the code. Now, as I walk They're saying yellow is the curse. We are now in the month of July. And as we approach August, I ask you, people of Malabar, Mausaka, and those of you listening, when you heard the Honorable Prime Minister at President's House, the word love, I love you, and I love you, and I love you. I want to ask the Honorable Prime Minister, where is the love for the CPEP workers that you sent home? Where is the love for the reforestation workers that you sent home? Where is the love for the URP workers that you sent home? How do they feel now when so many women have to face the grocery and market with not a single cent in their pockets? How do they feel? Where is the love when you cannot pay your rent and the landlord is now issuing a notice for you to leave? Where is it? Where is the love for the children whose parents will not be able to buy school books and uniform for them? And those, when they make those kinds of decisions, you ask yourself, do they really care about the people of Trinidad and Tobago? Because the speed with which, in less than 2 months, just over a month, that they take a decision to send home contractors, to send home workers, to not renew contracts, they must have thought about that before. They didn't think about that when they just got into government. The fact is that they clearly made that decision long in advance, that projects and programs started by the PNM, they will end almost every single one, whether they are good, whether they are bad, whether they are productive or not productive in their eyes. All because they are wicked and vindictive. And it matters not the analysis you're going to do, because some people are trying to find some kind of analysis. There can be no analysis for sending people home abruptly. There can be none. And you cannot justify, not even a food card. And a lot of those people who they are sending home now voted for them because they convinced them that things will be better under them. And they are seeing that that is not so. Many of the previous speakers made reference to the fact that this SOE that is taking place now, and if you listen to the Commissioner of Police, and he gave you the reason for the SOE, but I want to ask you a question. Where is our Honorable Prime Minister? Where is she? If it is that we accept this argument that crime is out of control and it was necessary to take this action, okay, so the Commissioner of Police went and he spoke first, but what happened after that? Not only that, if you are following the argument, the Minister of Homeland Security said that the threat has been eradicated. So you need to ask yourself, where is there still this? If you eradicate the threat, is there still a need for the state of emergency? We need to pay very, very close attention. Because you would recall that they were in office some time ago, and there was this state of emergency where thousands and thousands of people were locked up. If I serve my memory right, Mr. Scotland, wasn't it? Almost about 10,000? 10,000. Yes. And they had to pay millions and millions and millions of dollars. Not a single person as far as I recall, was convicted. And we wait to see what is going to happen at this time. But I ask you the question, with such a serious issue taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, you have absolutely no presence of the Honorable Prime Minister to explain to the country why was this decision taken by your government. It's very easy to say that the commissioner came and the commissioner spoke, but who is going on Monday to debate the extension of the SOE? Is not the commissioner of police. It is the government and it is the opposition. And you all would recall that when, under Dr. Keith Rowley, we went to Parliament about the SOE, they made it very clear that it was political gimmicks. All they did was to take the exact regulations, lock, stock, and barrel. They change a comma or a full stop. Change the date only. Change the date only. And that is what they are bringing before the Parliament on Monday. The same political gimmicks of which they talked about, that is what they are bringing before the Parliament. So we will wait patiently. You and I know that the real problem is they don't have no crime plan. That is the real issue. Absolutely no crime plan. And as you reminded me, it is not only in crime that they have no plan. They have no plan for nothing. So let us, I want to say to the people of Malabar, Mausika, as well as the people who are listening here, listening on your phones or your televisions, prepare yourself. Every Monday morning, they are going to be coming with a different story. And you must ask yourself, is it because they feel the people of Trinidad and Tobago are stupid and they could simply shove everything down your throats? Or is it because they have absolutely no plan? As I walked today, and as I got a phone call, there are a number of people who are raising the issue of a possible dengue outbreak. Now, I don't know if you are experiencing this increase in mosquitoes. I've heard it from in Woodbrook, certain parts of my constituency, and other parts of Trinidad. As a matter of fact, a person was saying to me last night that by 6, 7 o'clock in certain places in Port of Spain, you have to go inside. And some of the persons right here in Malabar was saying that since CPEP has been closed down, the bush is growing and growing and growing. And the question you ask yourself, if it is you are governing a country and you take a decision to close down CPEP, where you had 20,000 workers throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad, doing a very important job that deals with issues of health and safety, you simply send those persons home and you have absolutely no alternative, resulting in the fact that not only the loss of jobs, but when you go to the communities, is bush, is mosquito, is water stagnant, and they could never care about the people of Trinidad and Tobago having taken such a decision. And you can only call that shameful and wicked governance. So that you ask yourself, you come to the parliament and you ask for money for the additional contractors, the 12 contractors, you ask for money for the extension. They said it, I am sure you all sat and you listened. Yes. But at the same time, having voted and that being passed in the midterm review, Ask yourself, what are they going to do with that $60 million that they ask additionally for CPEP workers and CPEP contractors? I'm saying to you, people of Trinidad and Tobago, listen, pay attention, and we will continue to ask questions. I want to record my thanks and appreciation to Mr. Scotland, Mr. Marcel, Senior Counsel Lala, Mr. Julian, and all the lawyers who are representing the CPEP contractors and CPEP workers. And of course, there is the chairman, Marvin Gonzalez, as well as Senator Alwari, who are also giving advice. I meet the CPEP workers from time to time, and some are concerned. I want to thank the Honorable Scotland Senior Counsel for the information given today, and I ask you all to stay tuned. We have taken a decision when the first meeting was held in Central to ensure that we give you the best possible representation to the contractors and to the workers. We want you to know that as I stand here tonight, the People's National Movement will go the extra mile, and we will fight for you, and we will do our best to ensure that the initiatives of this government to remove you from a position and from a project started by the PNM, that we will do our best to ensure that you are properly represented. There are just about 2 or 3 other matters that I want to deal with. And I know it is a matter that you have been hearing about in the public domain, and it has to do with the incident that occurred in relation to former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Now, you all would have seen Dr. Rowley do a live and explain what happened in Antigua. What is important, and I just want to say that we in the PNM condemn this despicable act in the strongest of terms. We know that Dr. Rowley led this country with honor. We know that he has traveled the globe. And what many of us find very strange is within a few months that he's no longer the Prime Minister, that this activity took place. Now, I want to remind you that on Tuesday the 22nd, and I'm reading, Antigua Minister, we did not put Rowley on the Interpol list. Newsday spoke to Antigua and Barbuda's Minister of Legal Affairs, Public Safety and Labor, Stedroy Benjamin, who is also the country's Attorney General. He regretted the incident and supported Rowley's account of the events. Approached by the Newsday, Benjamin initially said, well, to be quite honest with you, we do not wish to comment on that unpleasant circumstances that arose in Antigua a few days ago with respect to former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley. It is unfortunate and deeply regrettable. But as far as I am aware, Dr. Rowley has not misstated anything. That as the Attorney General and Minister of Immigration, I could say that Dr. Rowley, I'm repeating, has not misstated anything. And the reason why I've taken a little time to share that with you is because they are given the impression that he's some stranger to the truth. But the fact is that this is the Attorney General of Antigua saying that the facts as reported by Dr. Rowley are correct. And whilst they have gone very silent and you have not heard much comments from them, This is a matter that is of grave concern for the People's National Movement, and we would continue to pay very, very close attention as to what is taking place. And of course, we record our thanks to the Attorney General of Antigua for ensuring that he gave us that very, very important piece of information. You would recall that some time ago, if you read the newspapers, and I'm switching to another topic now, and it has to do with sports. Lack of government dollars forces hockey teams out of Pan Am Cup. Now, you know, I was looking at an old video recently with George Chambers honoring Claude Noel in Tobago and speaking about naming of the highway after Claude Noel. You could say what you want. Similar to youth, similar to housing, similar to healthcare, the People's National Movement has always seen sporting activities as very important to all communities. So the question you ask yourself, what really has gone wrong? And this would be the first time ever that Trinidad and Tobago will miss the Pan Am Games. And we wait to hear what is the explanation that they will give. Summer of tennis tournament cancelled after no dollars from the Ministry of Sports. So we are waiting to hear what explanation that they are going to give. Because whether it is cricket, whether it is football, whether it is tennis, whether it's athletics, Trinidad and Tobago has done exceptionally well. And it is because of the policies and programs implemented by the People's National Movement. Of course, you are in a constituency, Malabar Mausika is the sister constituency to Arima. But we have produced Philip Simmons, we have produced Sunil Narain, and many others. Larry Gomes and his brother Sheldon, Kerry Jameson. And if you go to Arima, you would see that that velodrome was built since in the 1960s. And therefore, Arima is one of the constituencies, like many others, that has produced a lot of sportsmen and sportswomen. And we call, therefore, on the Ministry of Sports to indicate to the people of Trinidad and Tobago what went wrong. Because when you, for the first time, you cannot send a team to Pan Am Games, we know that something is very, very wrong. But we really should not be surprised. So there's a last area I want to talk about before I leave. And the reason why I'm going to talk about this is because we often in the PNM have not been willing to talk about some of our successful projects. And when you go to many parts of your constituencies and you hear some people say, oh, you ain't do nothing, you ain't get nothing, and when you start talking to them, it is because they're not even aware that they are projects and programs of the People's National Movement. A couple months ago, I think it might have been last year, you all would remember that Mr. Jack Warner went to the Arima Hospital. And I don't know if you all remember what he said. He said that is the best service he has received. And he thought that he was in some other part of the world. There is still room for improvement because you know you have the hospital and you have the health facility. And I know under the Honorable Terence Dialsing that there was tremendous improvement in the Arima health facility. And I want to record my thanks and appreciation to him for the work that he has done. And I'm not saying it is perfect, because from time to time you have constituents who complain for the length of time that they have had to wait. And I know that working with Davlin Thomas, they reduced the time, but there is still more to be done. But I also know that at any point in time, I walk into that Arima hospital and people talk about the excellent service. We don't always say to the doctors and nurses in Trinidad and Tobago, because we have our challenges. Sometimes people go to Mount Hope and they're not very happy. But there are times when we have to give credit when credit is due. And let us continue to give encouragement to the nurses and to the doctors, and to record our thanks and appreciation for those at the Arima Hospital for the good work that they have been doing. The final thing is that as we leave here tonight, what are you expecting differently? The leadership of the party, and when I talk about the leadership, I'm not just talking about myself, but many of those who are here tonight, we are committed to do things a little differently. And it is not that a lot of good things haven't been done, but as you walk and people give you ideas and you listen, you commit yourself to improve. So I wanted to share with you that one of my requests as the leader of the party is to ask the officers to be a little more accountable in some of the work that they are doing. And some of you who are listening, what do I mean by accountability? There are many officers. You have elections officers, you have the operations officer, you have the education officers. They have been asked to come to the General Council and make a presentation as to what their work program is. So it is not going to be business as usual. As a party, we have completed internal election, and it's not going to be the first time. We have to focus on being a united party. We have to focus on ensuring that all the persons who want to be part of the organization and function and make sure that we prepare for government, we have a responsibility as the leadership to do all within our power to ensure that the party is going to encourage people to continue to participate. And therefore, as the People's National Movement celebrates 70 years as an organization, it is important for us to recognize that since independence and then republicanism, the People's National Movement is the only political party that has remained as a party, the People's National Movement. Whether you start from DAC, DLP, UNC, Club 88, and so on and so on and so on, we have remained, as Foster will say, PNM, PNM, PNM. And we will be establishing a committee for the 70th anniversary to make sure that every month there is something that we can do to celebrate the People's National Movement. The bottom line is that there's room for everybody. I have only been the political leader for a little over 3 weeks. Sometimes, for some people, it appears as though it has been a very long time. It has not been a very long time. And we had a meeting in Beetham. We have a meeting here. Our next meeting, we are going to go to Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, where the Honorable Stuart Young's constituency. Then we are going to go to Laventille East Mover, to Christian Birchwood, and then to San Fernando, the Honorable Brian Manning. So we are going to be going everywhere. In 3 weeks, it's not possible for me to do all the things that people want me to do. But what I am very happy about is that you're getting feedback, you're getting criticisms, there are suggestions, and as a leader, you're going to listen. But I give you the assurance that there is room for everyone, and the opportunities will be there for all the MPs, all the senators, all the candidates, and we would also be appointing coordinators, because we need the input of every single person. And that is what the PNM has always been about, and that is what the People's National Movement will continue to be about. I want to say that this is a defining moment for us, not only People's National Movement, but in the country. You do not need to see more to understand that this government that is in office do not really care about the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They really care about themselves. And they have misled you, or misled some of you, into believing that they really cared about you. Malabar Mausika, formerly Dabadi Omera. And tonight we remember Lisa Morris Julian, someone that loved this constituency dearly, and someone who represented this constituency with her heart and soul. You listened to Dominic Romaine tonight, who is now the new member of Parliament. And as the political leader, I say that I give to Dominic Romaine my full and absolute support. There are many people in this constituency, formerly Dabadi Omera, that have worked very hard. And I see many of them here in the audience tonight. And I just want to record my thanks and appreciation for all the work that you have done, because they have had several chairmen, of which I know Gillian is not here tonight. She's not in the best of health. We wish her the best, but we know that she has done her work to make sure that the meeting, the meeting came off successfully. When you compare the data of 2020, where you won, where this constituency actually got almost most of the votes, most votes in all I think at that time the 22 constituencies, and you have seen a reduction. But that didn't only happen in Malabar Mausika. It happened in many others. It happened in Christians, it happened in mine, it happened in Scotland. A lot of us got less votes. But we understand that a lot of our people were not happy. And those of us who understand how the People's National Movement people operate, when they're not happy, they stay home. We have a responsibility to make sure that those 100,000 plus people who didn't come out, we have a responsibility to make sure that we do what is necessary to listen to them, to educate ourselves, also to educate them, and let them know that we care about them. We need to let them know what the People's National Movement has done over the years. And in some instances, we need to be a lot more sensitive to the needs of the people of the party that we lead. And I give you the assurance that as we continue to work together, we will do precisely that. There is a local government election that will come. There is the Tobago House of Elections that is due for the latest, I think, either December or January. We need to put our house in order. So that to all the people of Malabar Mausika, to Arima and environs, I want to take the opportunity in particular to thank the people of Arima for giving me another opportunity to serve and to be the Member of Parliament Arima for another time. We have every reason, all of you sitting here and all of you listening, to understand, to recognize, and to acknowledge that the People's National Movement has a track record of delivery. Delivery in every single area. As Colin said, 33-3. And I think it was 95. We lost elections. We came back again. There was 3 elections in 2 years in that early period in 2000. We lost again in 2010. We were back by 2015 for another 10 years. We have lost in 2025. And I want to say to you as I close that we will be back in office. If not in 5 years, in less than 5 years. It is your responsibility to prepare your party. It is your responsibility to be loyal to your party. It is your responsibility to be disciplined. As a leader, it is my responsibility to listen. It is my responsibility to go to you wherever you are, together with the other members of the leadership, continue to meet with you, continue to prepare for government, continue to offer you a vision that tells you that the People's National Movement is the only party that can lead Trinidad and Tobago in a way in which we think of equity and in which we understand that as a government, we care about the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to thank the MP, Dominic Romain, the entire executive of Dabadi Omera, and all of you who stayed for this entire meeting. And I want to say, finally, great is the PNM. Great is the PNM, and it shall prevail.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Madam Political Leader. Malabar, rise up. Trinidad and Tobago, rise up. As leader indicated, the journey demands courage and vision, and together we will stand with her. You have been an amazing audience. Get home safely. Continue to carry the message of the People's National Movement. Have a good night, everybody.